This is the world as it exists today.
You're rocking with the best. That's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the beast. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police.
Boy, this man, John Combs, got to have the dumbest lawyers in America, bro. This man had to have the dumbest lawyers in all of America because they think that the judge is a damn fool, and he's not. Like, share, subscribe as y'all come on in here this morning. I'm finna give y'all the news of what just went down. Salute to everybody that's tapped in. If y'all can hear me, press 1 in the comment section. Make sure, if you guys are not, y'all make sure y'all go get the album, The Greatest, from A Weapons, who was just on an intro track. The link is in the description box below this video, along with all the other links y'all already know. Cash App, PayPal if y'all want to support. Podcast link, website link, free website membership link. Also link to our other YouTube channel where we almost at 100,000 subscribers over there on TTV Network, where we dropping multiple videos daily. Link, as well as the link to our Facebook and X. All that's in the description box below. Let's get right to the funk, man. Bro, it's over with for this dude, man. Diddy thinks the judge is an idiot, and this is the reason why they on their knees to Donald J. Trump. This is the reason why. I wouldn't be surprised if y'all end up hearing Diddy come out on some type of phone call or something and praise Donald Trump and denounce all of the people that he sponsored, stood behind, and did all of these things to. This is the reason why they're making a huge mistake. And I'm telling y'all a huge mistake because I've already told y'all this. Donald Trump has his own guy overseeing this Diddy case now. Jay Clayton. Jay Clayton already laid a smackdown and said in that letter when Diddy got denied bail that his bail should be denied and rejected. Donald Trump is not going to go over his own guy, make his own guy that he put there look bad and override his case, because that makes his guy look bad. His boy Jay Clayton, the guy he assigned, because Jay Clayton says Diddy's a flight risk. Now everybody, a lot of people, this went over a lot of people's head when he said, hey, Diddy's a flight risk. Why would Diddy be a flight risk if he's only going to get probation or time served or a small sentence? They know the judge is going big, and I'm about to show y'all what the judge just did. All these things that Diddy's lawyers are doing, the biggest dummies in America. You got Nappy Head over there, one of Diddy's lawyers. What's the girl name? We call the girl Nappy Head. She over there doing interviews, just smiling and cheese, and she's supposed to be a victim herself that took the stand herself in the past, but she over there smiling, just, ma'am, 30 pieces of silver to you. That's all I'm gonna say to you. You understand what I'm saying? And you know it too. That's all I'm gonna say to you, ma'am. And that's all I got to say about that. What you sit up there cheesing and smiling and talking all that stuff you was talking on that interview the other day. And then Diddy's other lawyer, this damn fool, Mark Anglifo, the lead lawyer, running around here. And the black girl last night, I don't know if y'all seen the interview. The black girl who did the interview with him looked at this man like he's a damn fool. She looked at Diddy's lawyer. When Diddy said this, I'm about to show y'all this girl. When Diddy's lawyer said what he said last night, she looked at him like he's a damn fool. Look at the look on her face. Diddy's lawyer went up there in the interview last night talking about something. Yeah, you know, we fitting to be on Diddy fitting to go back and go to Madison Square Garden. She said, for what? she looked at Diddy's lawyer and said, for what? Yeah, he going back on stage in Madison Square Garden. She said, for what? Look at her look on her face. Matter of fact, roll the tape.
What is it that Sean Combs wants people to know? He wants people to know that I think that he has reflected on the blessings that he's been given, on the imperfections that I think he sees in himself. I think he wants to get out of jail, establish a loving, present relationship with all of his 7 children. He wants to take care of his mother. Does he want to get back into music? Does he want to get back into business? I think he's someone who is always going to strive to do something, exceptional and probably demanding and challenging. But I think the most demanding and challenging thing in front of him right now is to get back with his kids and get back with his mother and the people who love him and miss him.
So he's talked to you about getting back into music if he's
no. Honestly, he has not.
Okay.
One thing he said he's going to be back in Madison Square Garden.
He said that.
He did. He said to me he's going to be back in Madison Square Garden.
Doing what?
I guess being on stage. And I said I'll be there.
So he didn't. This dude is a liar. Diddy's lawyer, bro. These dudes are the scum of the living earth. He gonna sit up there talking about some. Yeah, he didn't say to me that he's trying to get back to music, but he's gonna be back on that stage in Madison Square Garden. She said, doing what? She told this nigga down here, doing what? He said, yeah, doing what he do. Yeah, and I'm gonna be there. No, you're not. And see, this is why I told y'all. Everybody listen to this channel. If the left one don't get you, Diddy got all these fools running around in the media destroying his case to get free. The right one will. And the judge is nobody's fool. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the judge showed that he watches social media. He watched Diddy's lawyer, his other, advisor, the father of Tenny Garrigos, Mark Garrigos, over there capping on Megyn Kelly's YouTube channel the other day, talking about yeah, man, Diddy's a great man, this, that, and the third, and they asked him about all the beatings. Oh, but see, yeah, man, making every excuse. Then somebody up there says, well, Mark, why do you always defend bad people? You defended the Melendez brothers. Everybody that's bad, you say is good. They stir-fried his sorry ass. Let me tell y'all something. Diddy's lawyers out here and all these other people are making it horrific for him. Because as I told y'all, Donald Trump is not going against his own man. He didn't put his own man in there to lift Diddy up. He got his man in there to make sure Diddy stay down. And I'm going to prove it. The judge just made a ruling today, right now. And I told y'all that it was one thing that happened that was going to destroy Diddy. And it went over everybody's head in this channel. I told y'all, old girl made a big mistake. You say, but Ticket, what girl? I say, what girl? You say, what girl? I'll show you what girl. This girl. Sister Gina? Oh, Sister Gina. You gave statements to the federal government, victim number 3. And Sister Gina, if the government wanted to right now, they could grand jury your ass, drag you back up to the courthouse, and make you state whether or not your statements to the federal authorities were true or false, Sister Gina. And Sister Gina, you're on social media allegedly running your mouth. Oh, yeah. This is why I told y'all, Diddy has the most, bro, this dude got to have the dumbest people in the world around him. Sister Gina, you on social media telling people that they're sheeps. Act like I can't forgive a man I once loved. I'm not going to kick him while he's down because y'all want me to. Gina, you said he stumped on your stomach while you was down. Gina, he kicked Cassie on tape while she was down, you damn fool. But Gina, I'm going to tell you something. You people have no common sense. Because the judge is watching all of this, and so is the feds. All of these buffoons that's out here making these lame-ass videos, trying to defend this buffoon. The only thing y'all doing is undermine the judge, right? Look at her. I don't even know you. The FLOL goofies, I'm going to always have his back. Yeah, you're one of the reasons why he got indicted, because you helped give information to the feds, Gina. So you're going to always have his back? No, you didn't, Gina. You're one of the ones who helped put his bullshit on the map when you went over there and ran your mouth to Tasha K and told Tasha K everything, Sister Gina. right? I've never been the type of person to follow crowds and trends. I'm not a follower. Well, Sister Gina, you followed their ass up there to the federal government and gave statements. And then you said, free Diddy. Sister Gina, not only is Diddy going to jail or to the prison, your ass, if you don't got a J-O-B, Sister Gina, you need to go get a J-O-B because you're going to need to afford to pay for a lawyer because the federal government called your ass for them statements that you gave. Yeah, those statements that's been redacted before this trial. And then you were a no-show. And then as soon as the case was over with, somehow TMZ found your ass in a parking lot. You don't think that the judge is watching and knowing all this stuff that's going on? And Sister Gina, I told everybody who was watching this video the other day when Jay Clayton, Donald Trump's guy, wrote that letter for Diddy's bail to be denied. He did something. And I told everybody on YouTube this was very important. He blacked something out right there. He blacked some information out. That information that was blacked out, only the judge saw. And Diddy's legal team knows. The whole world does not know this because it was not brought to the case. But read the line after the blacked out part, Sister Gina, because your ass may be in huge trouble. It says, although this evidence was not presented at trial, and everybody got mad at Big Gene when Gene said everything wasn't brought to the trial, but he wasn't lying. All of the evidence that I told y'all was not brought to the trial. There's a lot of shit that was left out. And everybody's saying, oh, how can the judge do this? Because, jabroni, if you know the law, you Rudy Poo candy ass, you'll know that this case right here is way different than any of the other Mann Act cases. Because none of the other Mann Act cases had all of these other intricacies that were involved in it as Diddy's does. Those were just guys who flew prostitutes out to have sex. Boom, that's it. All this other shit wasn't involved. With Diddy's case, it is. And you can go look up the law yourself about violence within the Mann Act. But Diddy's going to find out the hard way. He's trying to override the judge and the media and undermine the judge by making it seem like we're just going to go straight to Donald Trump. That's going to kill Diddy. It's going to, and what the judge just did, the judge is the smartest. Bro, I tell y'all this right now. This judge is the smartest man in the world. And I'm going to tell y'all why right now. I'm going to show y'all what he just did. The judge disarmed Diddy every part he went in his trial. Everybody wants to know why the judge left a lot of that stuff out of the case. I'm finna tell y'all right now, show y'all what the judge just did. All of this shit I told y'all that was in the pretrial paperwork. You see it right there, Judge Serrania's name up there. You see it, I blew it up right there. You see his name up there. All of these cooperating victims. And if you read that little part at the bottom, you'll see everything I'm telling you is true. And you can go look at the documents itself, the signed, stamped, and delivered. But all that was redacted, ladies and gentlemen. It was redacted. And I need you to understand what I'm telling y'all. This information that did not make it to the trial because the judge exited out. And why did the judge exit out? Because the judge is very smart. Why is the judge very smart, you guys? The judge is very smart, ladies and gentlemen, because the judge take away any type of way that Diddy can appeal this case. By not letting all this other stuff in the case, by ruling a lot of different things in Diddy's lawyer's favor, down from not stopping the jury from going back and deliberating, which could have caused a mistrial. All of those things that the judge did, he lined it up perfectly so that Diddy's team could not come back and have a legitimate basis on appeal after he's dropped a sledgehammer on this dude. So what the judge did, and Diddy made a mistake. If you guys read that paperwork from the past, Diddy's lawyers have said multiple things. The judge ain't forgot nothing. He ain't forgot about those notes that was allegedly had those writings in it from when Diddy, before the trial. The judge ain't forgot about none of this shit, right? Where Diddy tried to blame the government for going through his notes and the judge slammed his lawyers, asking them, well, did you see this written on that folder before now? The judge remember all that shit. Ladies and gentlemen, and then it came to this. Gina, You a damn fool. Under that black part, it says, although this evidence was not presented at trial, the court is free to consider it in assessing the defendant's dangerousness. This is what Donald Trump's guy wrote. Read the last paragraph, y'all. Right? Oh, excuse me. Let me finish reading that. Although this evidence was not presented at trial, the court is free to consider it assessing Diddy's dangerousness. See United States versus LaFontaine, 210 F3D 125 130 through 133, Second Court 2000, and read this next line, y'all. Recognizing that, quote unquote, listen to read this, y'all. Proffers are permissible both in bail determination and bail revocation contents. The defendant's extensive history of violence and his continued attempt to minimize his recent violent conduct. Minimize. That's what his lawyers are in the media doing, minimizing all of his charges, minimizing all of this shit. The judge get ready to hit this nigga with a Barry Bonds, nigga. Demonstrates his dangerousness. They said the fact that he's minimizing this shit and his dumbass lawyers and all these people running through the media minimizing this shit demonstrates his dangerousness and that he is not amenable, to supervision. The defendant utterly fails to establish by clear and convincing evidence, the government says, as required, that he does not pose a danger to the community, and the judge ruled in that favor. But read that line up there where it said proffers. Y'all know I always keep the paperwork. Remember this pretrial paperwork where it said, although the defendant, meaning Diddy, this is the government that was writing this, slings plenty of mud about the non-statutory victim accounts. Remember I told y'all this? These niggas ain't on my effing level, nigga. They don't read paperwork. Talking about, they all right here talking about, hey man, nigga, ain't nobody lying. Read this shit right here on your screen. Although Diddy, the defendant Diddy, slings plenty of mud about the non-statutory victims. This is why the judge threw all of that out. Remember, that's how R. Kelly got convicted. R. Kelly got convicted due to two major things. The white lady who came in and talked about the coercion and control and mentality, Dawn, or whatever her name was, the white lady. She came in and buried R. Kelly in his case. And they allowed the non-statutory victims to testify in R. Kelly's case. Meaning, people who were not being who R. Kelly was not directly being charged with in his case were allowed to come in, testify their own stories in court, and corroborate the other people who did this. And to the person, Alan Wallace says, hating on another black man, well, go ask all the other black men that says Diddy owe them money, he ain't pay them shit, nigga. Go ask all the other black artists that said that Diddy did them dirty. And know your role and shut your damn mouth when daddy's talking, boy. The hell is wrong with you? Sit down and shut the hell up, nigga. Shut your ass up. That shit don't work on me, nigga. I'm cut from a different cloth, punk. Now, like I said to y'all, all those, read this. These are all on the screen were the non-statutory victims that the government, the feds had set to go up. And let me blow this up to y'all again because niggas said people was lying. All I'm going to say is read that yellow part. That's in the paperwork. Now, the judge held all that out the case. You can see it right there. That's the big form. And I blew that part up right there for y'all to see that part. Now, remember, all this stuff was given to the judge. Judge, armed submarinian. And y'all can see the date at the top. Right there. This is all before the trial. This is the pre-trial paperwork. But when niggas don't read, they just come on YouTube talking shit and swallowing spit, nigga. Now read this. Although the defendant slings plenty of mud about the non-statutory victims' accounts, he has yet to produce any contrary evidence and did not attach to his motion. By contrast, the government has provided detailed proffers of each victim's anticipated testimony and corroborating evidence. Further, the accounts of the non-statutory victims and those of the statutory victims corroborate each other. This corroboration together with the detailed proffers of each victim's anticipated testimony is sufficient to satisfy Rules 104's low threshold for reliability. Now, the judge, see, everybody got on COMIMG. COMIMG tried to put this in. The judge says, nah, I'm not going to let that in. This was the judge who did that. The judge, while we didn't see all those salacious allegations from the non-statutory victims that was X'd out, the judge says, nah, I'm not going to allow y'all to use that against him in this case. So it never got seen to the general public. The whole world never seen that. They never saw those allegations because the judge left that out of court. He didn't allow any of those victims to come in. That helped Diddy because you see what that says in that yellow part. And you know, ticket, boy, when I'm on it, you better damn well bet your bottom dollar I'm on it. So Diddy's lawyers can run around here and say all of these things. But there was a lot of stuff that was held out. But ladies and gentlemen, Gina made a huge mistake. She went back and wrote a letter. And in this recent filing, they blocked all of these things out. And you guys have to remember, the judge can use, and when the judge is thinking, the judge has seen all of these things. The only person that has seen all of these different things is the judge, the prosecution, and Diddy's defense team. The world never got to see those allegations because the judge held him out of court, which is why Diddy made a huge mistake and destroyed himself for an appeal when he told the judge in the court, on the record, Judge, I think you're doing a great job. So all these jabronis and Rudy Poo candy asses running around YouTube, this is an unfair judge. He's unfair. Shut your damn mouth, you idiot. Diddy, itty bitty Diddy in court said that this was a good judge and the judge was fair. That's a quote. And that will be used against that scrub when he tries to file an appeal and his appeal gets rejected because he said the judge was doing a great job. And he also, his lawyers also put out statements at the treatment and the MDC, which is what the judge used in his letter to revoke Diddy's bail. But the judge just did something else today. And he did this. The judge just filed this morning. As you guys can read the blue part up there in the right-hand corner of your screen. That's fine for now. But the parties should not expect. Now, remember, I told y'all. For you guys who not gonna, because some people don't have brains, don't know what I'm talking about. Donald Trump's guy, Jay Clayton, who's taken over the U.S. Attorney's Office now. He's over this Diddy case now. He left this redacted part out. The judge gave him by August the 4th to tell him, yo, why did you block this out? The judge is smart as a whip. He sees Diddy's legal team out here trying to undermine him by before he even gives a sentence going and trying to go over his head to the president for a pardon. What Diddy's team is forgetting is that Donald Trump's own guy, Jay Clayton, is the one that's sticking it to him. So Donald Trump is not going to go against Jay Clayton, his own guy that he's got out there sticking it to Diddy, right? Now check this out. The judge sees that they're trying to undermine him. So what the judge is doing, he's going to put all of it out in front of the public now. What are you talking about, Ticket? The judge is going to put this all out in front of the public so that when he lays the hammer on Diddy, come sentencing, all this stuff that has been blacked out from now on, they can't black it out so the public can't see it. The judge wants the public to see everything from now on. So when he laid a smackdown on Diddy, there's nothing that guys like DJ Envious and these other clowns can come out here and say that the judge is being unfair. Because now you gonna see all that stuff that's X'd out. Read the blue part. He told them, remember, they wrote a response to the judge and why they blacked that area out. And the judge wrote to them just now today, and there was a response. He said, that's fine for now, but the parties should not expect that any submissions made in connection with the upcoming sentences will be sealed. Everything, read that last sentence, y'all. Everything should be filed on the public docket, absence advance authorization to do so. So ordered. Read the right-hand side of your screen in the corner, bottom corner. Judge Armed Submarinian, dated today. Ladies and gentlemen, that means the judge is smart as hell. And the judge is going to make sure that all of Donald J. Trump and his followers see that when he unloads that black part right there, there's no way you can pardon a man when if people see all of this shit. And Sister Gina, you in trouble because you gave statements to federal prosecutors and you told Tasha K. And Tasha K could have never known this. That interview you did with Tasha K was 6 years ago. She could have never known at that time that her interview was going to be legendary and stomping on your ass too. Not literally, but figuratively. Because read the paragraph above the blacked out part. It says the defendant Diddy, this is Donald Trump's guy who wrote this now, to the judge before Diddy got denied bail. The defendant Diddy he contends that he does not pose a danger because the trial record, read this again, y'all. Everybody said these was all lies, all these people was making up. Diddy used the trial record, not what actually was presented as evidence to him and his team and to the judge, that a lot of it was thrown out. So that's why you got to read paperwork. The defendant Diddy contends that he does not pose a danger because the trial record does not reflect acts of violence by the defendant. Now read this. This is very important. Between 2018, when he ended the relationship with Cassie, in 2024, when he viciously assaulted Jane. Stop right there. Why wouldn't that record show that? It wouldn't show it because one lady who said she got beat down in 2018 didn't show up, and her name was Gina. So the trial record did not show Gina's testimony and all those things she said as well. As an initial matter, the defendant's violent attack of Jane and his years-long proclivity towards violence against Mrs. Ventura, and read this, y'all, and others. They couldn't name the others because those others were not technically brought into the trial, is more than sufficient to establish his dangerousness. But the defendant's suggestion, and this is going to destroy Diddy right here, that he went several years without inflicting violence on another person simply is not true. The defendant did engage in several acts of violence between 2018 and 2024. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if they're not talking about Cassie between 2018 and 2024, and they're not talking about Jane, that part that's blacked out, who you think they talking about? Why y'all think all of a sudden Sister Gina wrote that letter as soon as Diddy's prosecution, Donald Trump's man, Jay Clayton, put this out, Gina writes a letter? That's because in that part that's blacked out, got some devilish details that the judge, that everybody, all of us didn't see. And that's why the judge said today, he gonna make sure that Diddy and his legal team that's out here trying to undermine him in the general public, in the public's eye, he gonna make sure that they don't hold back nothing. He wants everything put out there so the public can see all of the shit, because now ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to sentencing, the judge can even use things that Diddy was acquitted of, behavior, acts, in his sentencing. He doesn't have to go by the sentencing guidelines. The only numbers that the judge has to worry about is between 0 and 10 for each charge, 20 total. That's the only thing the judge can give Diddy up to 20 if he wants. You don't have to give a damn about the sentencing guidelines. And so what the judge had done today is he have disarmed Diddy and Diddy's team every way he's beat them, every single way the judge has beat them. Because remember, the judge has seen everything. You and I and all of the people who watched that trial, we haven't seen everything. But the judge, Diddy's legal team, and the prosecution have. And the judge is saying, you know what? Since they want to try to go over my head, I'm going to make this damn near impossible for Donald Trump and them to back this guy. Because what I'm going to do is now, all these other little salacious details that have been redacted in this paperwork, don't redact them no more. Make them out here to the general public so everybody can see what type of dude you dealing with. So when I nail his ass, come sentencing, there ain't no questions. And Donald Trump, if he ever thinks about a part of this guy, he's going to have to answer to his entire fan base, and he will destroy his family politically if he were to get this guy bail. And read the blueprint on your screen. This is why he did it. So, Sister Gina, when that black part gets, because you told Tasha K, Sister Gina, in that infamous interview you did with Tasha K, you made one mistake too many, Sister Gina. And you out here running your mouth right now, Gina. Gina, you told Tasha K something that will forever haunt you and haunt Diddy. You told Tasha K, and Tasha K asked a question 6 years ago that she never knew was going to come up in this case. She asked you, when was the last time that Diddy assaulted you? And you told Tasha K in 2018. Read the paperwork again. Second paragraph. The defendant contends that he does not pose a danger because the trial record, meaning Sister Gina didn't show up, does not reflect acts of violence by the defendant between 2018. Stop right there.
Like, mean to me.
So when you say mean, describe it.
He was abusive. He was like always belittling me and always like, he was like mentally, emotionally, and physically abusing me.
Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the first time we've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
There was an incident, of course, with Cassie, where reporters are saying that the police were called because they got into an altercation. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me some of the things that he would say to you.
He would always compare me to Cassie and tell me that I'm the bad one and she's a good one.
He was with both of you guys at the same time.
Yeah. And at one point, like, I was breaking out really bad with acne, and he would be like, he said this a few times to me. He's like, baby, why don't you go see a doctor or something? I don't date women with bumps on their face.
Oh.
Yeah, he would say that to me.
Take a drink.
Take advantage of that and manipulate me. I feel like he'd try to I was naive and young when I met him, so I feel like he tried to take advantage of that and manipulate me to make me feel low about myself.
But when Cassie said that in court, when James said that in court, when Mia said that in court, y'all all called them liars. This woman said this out of court 6 years ago, and now she out here capping. Fuck out of here, nigga. Who y'all think this is, nigga?
Now let's talk about the physical abuse. If you're okay, are you okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Obviously, you terminated baby one because you loved him. How long after you guys started dating is when did the physical abuse start?
I heard about that.
D-Rock, everyone else just kind of just allowed it to happen and just like looked the other way.
So most of his entourage were, I guess, enablers.
Like his staff.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
And they wouldn't say anything. They would just watch him.
Not watch it, but kind of just walk away and just leave us alone. And not really step in to stop.
Wow. Now, what made you stay? Because obviously there's baby number 2, and then there's more beatings, according to you, that happened after that, because that was just the first time. What made you stay?
Because I just thought, that he was only being like that because he loved me.
Get your tissue. I don't want you messing up your makeup. Okay?
Get beat by my dad, so that's all I knew. So I just thought it was normal, and I thought it just mean he loved me.
You know, most domestic abuse victims don't talk about their abuse. They're ashamed of it. They feel like as if they've done something to deserve it.
Yeah, I felt that.
Let's talk about baby 2. When did baby 2 come?
Last year in August.
So, talk about that conversation. You're pregnant. You tell him. And this is obviously after 6 years of you guys being together.
And mind you, it wasn't my fault that I got pregnant. I told him, because I have like this period app and it tells me when I'm ovulating and stuff. So I told him that I'm ovulating, so don't do it.
Now, she said she told him, I'm ovulating, don't do it. Now, what is that if a woman tells you to don't do it and you still do it? What do you call that? But y'all said, oh, he ain't do that to Cassie, he ain't do that to Jane, he ain't do that to none of them. No time. She says on the record, she told him, I'm ovulating, don't do it.
But he just did it anyway, and then I got pregnant, and he like, okay, just get an abortion, like no hesitation. But this time was harder for me because I had been with him for so long, and I was like really in love with him, and part of me wanted to keep it.
So, this is the type of foolishness you dealing with this type of thing. Y'all see this. Everybody sees this. This type of foolishness you dealing with, right? But I'm going to get to the juicy part, y'all. And that is what she said that's going to forever, ever, ever destroy this entire situation. And it relates to what Donald Trump's guy wrote on the screen, Jay Clayton. Read this now.
That's a lot. Let's talk about the other girls. One in particular, Cassie, because he was very public with Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
And according to you, you actually met him when he was with Cassie.
Yeah.
So could you explain to me how this came to be and what made you stay even though he was with Cassie? What was he telling you?
When I first met Puff, I did not find him
Were there others?
He's always told me that it was just only us two, but I don't believe him because I always catch him like texting other girls and stuff like that. So like after my abortion, it was this girl named Jordan. I mean, it was girls before that, but it's like after after the abortion, it was just like too much for me to handle, and it was just like Jordan, and then the Jocelyn girl, and then the cat girl, and then just recently Lori Harvey.
Steve Harvey's stepdaughter.
Yeah. We was here in Atlanta for Super Bowl. He invited me to come, and I did, and we were staying at this house he rented out, and we were having parties the whole weekend, and she had came over, and I noticed that they were gone for like a long time, and I was like looking everywhere for them, asking like everyone if they seen him, and everyone just told him no. But then like I remember like I like turned around and I saw him, and then I looked this way and then I saw her. Like they reappeared together. I mean, separately, but like reappeared at the same time. Because I was looking for her too. At the same time, I was looking for him because I suspected that he like snuck away with her. Birthday, he had shown me a picture of me and him. The first pic that we ever took, and I was like, "You should save that as your screensaver." So he was like, "I don't know how." So I was trying to show him, and I saved the picture to his photo album on his phone, and then I clicked on the photo album to like set it as a screensaver, and I saw a picture of him and Lori, like the same exact pose.
What do you mean?
I mean, the same exact pose that he took with me.
Okay.
And he did the same with Lori.
Were they clothed or not?
No.
They weren't clothed?
No.
Lori Harvey.
I mean, I didn't see the whole body. I just seen like up here, up. I mean, like up,
okay,
like from her chest and up.
And did you ever have any problems with Lori?
No, I don't have any more problems with her.
Or any of the other women? Because I know you said Cassie was, of course, very respectful, but she still wanted you to step back.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes me angry a little bit, but I know that it's not their fault. Okay. So I don't have any, I'm not angry with them.
Wow. Now, I kind of hate to bring this up, but if Diddy is messing with Lori, wasn't his son Justin messing with Lori as well?
I'm not sure what their relationship was, but I know that Justin was trying to talk to her when we were here at Super Bowl.
Wow. So does his family know about you? Have you met his family? Have you lived in the houses? Because I know he has a few houses. So the video is out. Everyone obviously knows while watching this interview that you did upload the videos out of spite to actually prove that you and Diddy had a relationship. So when you did come forward, there was actually receipts. How did Diddy react to you uploading the videos, being that you guys weren't on speaking terms? And he's always kept you out of the public.
I didn't speak to him that day because I guess he had surgery that morning. And then when he woke up from his surgery, he was like, "What's going on?"
What surgery?
Oh, he had a soldier.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. He was like, "What's..." I only know this from his son because he called me like or whatever. But I guess he was like, "What's going on? Like, I just woke up. I didn't do anything." And he never does anything.
Okay. Now, you said there was a text message that you received from him.
Oh, yeah. So I hit him the next day, though, and I said, "Hey, I just want to let you know that E! News reached out to me." And that's all I said. And he responded and said, "TMZ is working on a story with you and Tristan Thompson." And I never even met Tristan in my life.
Well, wait. I want you to be clear with that. Wait a minute. So he responded.
He responded and said, "TMZ is working on a story with you and Tristan Thompson, LOL.
Harvey. Put that camera on me. Harvey. So you've never met Tristan?
I've never met Tristan.
Okay. And Harvey was going to put together a story for Diddy to make it seem like you guys were no longer together because you were obviously messing with Tristan. So he was going to create a scandal, is what you're saying?
I guess.
How'd that make you feel when you heard that?
And he had like, we were in his closet and he like pushed me and I fell to the ground and then he like stood over me. So I was like laying on my back and he stood over me and he started like punching me like this. Like he avoided my face, but he like started punching me like on the side of my head and I was just like covering my face. And he did that and then after he got done doing that, he like, cause he was standing, his legs were like in between me. So he stomped on my stomach like really hard and I like took the wind out of my breath. I couldn't breathe and he kept hitting me and I was like pleading to him like, can you stop? I can't breathe. And he like stopped for a little bit.
Now y'all wonder why they not letting this guy loose. Y'all, people sitting up here, he's a great man. He's a piece of shit. He's a degenerate, point blank, period. And he's a detriment to the black community. And I'm gonna say it, nigga. I don't
back and like was like punching the back of my head. Cause he was just avoiding my face when he was like hitting me.
Wow.
The next big fight we got into was I can't remember if it was like in November or beginning of December of last year. At that point I was like fighting back because I just had enough of his shit and he kept like pushing my buttons and I was just like trying to like calm the situation down before it got worse and he just kept pushing me and and then so I left his bedroom and I went down to like the meditation room. It's kind of like a guest house, like it's like separate from his house and he followed me there. And he like continued talking shit to me and I just got to the point where I was just so angry that I like took a bottle of De Leon and then I like smashed it on the ground and he was like, you bitch, you did that at my house with my kids here. Bitch, my kids is here. And then I ran out the meditation room
Meditation room.
Meditation room.
Okay.
And he chased after me. He pushed me to the ground outside and he took my hair and like was dragging me across like the grass in my hair with my hair. And then after that like a couple hours later, like it was the weekend, so we had people coming over and he just like acted like nothing happened. So I mean, but that's all the time. Like every time.
And when you say acting like nothing happened, like what were his mannerisms?
Like he was just dancing and like laughing and talking to me like we just didn't just get into a physical fight.
Wow. When was the last time he put hands on you? When was the last time?
It was like in November, December of last year.
Of 2018.
Yeah.
There you have it. That was the part. Now I'll let y'all hear all that. She alleged he stomped her stomach in while she was down, even though she says, I won't kick him while he's down, but he stomped me while I was down. Dragged her by her hair while she was down. Punched her repeatedly in her head while she was down. These are all the things he did to her that she said that he did to her while she was down. Right? And this is the type of piece of steaming hot shit they want on the streets. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. The devil is a lie. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. See, second paragraph. The defendant contends that he does not pose a danger because the trial record does not reflect acts of violence by the defendant between 2018. Rewind this part. Sister Gina, you wrote that letter to the feds. That part down there is blacked out. But Sister Gina, you made a huge mistake. You told Tasha K that the last time Diddy put the beats on you was in 2018.
I guess he put hands on you. When was the last time?
It was like in November, December of last year.
Of 2018?
Yeah.
2018. See how ticket don't miss? And how much you guys willing to bet that this is what Gina told prosecutors as well in her statements? Because read the last line from victim 3, who was Gina. Read the last line down there, y'all. It says, this is clearly sufficient to establish that Combs used force and coercion. Now, when Trump's guy, Jay Clayton, wrote this letter to make sure Diddy got denied bail again, he said, look, it's shit that wasn't even presented in the trial that you can use in sentencing. But he blacked it out. He didn't want everybody to see it because it wasn't brought forth in the trial. The judge says, no. It can be shown. And guess what? Since Diddy's lawyers out here running a marathon victory lap and trying to undermine the judge and go over his head and act like they want to go get a part, okay, this is what we're going to do. What we're going to do is publicize all of these things now to the judge. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And two, we're going to publicize this to the world. That way, when they see all of the things and hear all of these things that was never seen in court, now how can they, with any sense of mind, come out here and stand up and say the judge was wrong when he hit Diddy with the sledgehammer? The judge said that's fine for now, but the parties should not expect that any submissions made in connection with the upcoming sentencing will be sealed. Everything should be filed on a public docket, absence advance authorization to do so otherwise. So ordered. Now, why would the judge say absence of advance authorization? The judge would say that because if the feds are working on more charges or a new case against Diddy and don't want to reveal that to the world right now, then they'll redact those parts so that the general public doesn't see what's going on until it hits. Other than that, for sentencing purposes, the judge is going to let it all hang out in front of the public. Because Diddy's team and all these people out here doing media press tours, acting like the judge is doing something harsh to him, when they know, and the judge know, that the judge have seen all of the evidence, and that it was the judge that left a lot of that evidence out of the case. A lot of testimony out of the case. The judge knows this. And me personally, I think the judge feels bad, because I think if it was him that came down with that verdict, he would have found Diddy guilty on all charges. But when you have your peers that may not know the law, that may see things differently than what the law says, then they come to a different verdict, and the judge had to live with that. But they still gave the judge wiggle room, because he can give this man between 0 and 20. Why is Diddy panicking if he doesn't think he ain't gonna do no time? Because he know that the judge seen everything, and he know that in these cases, once again, he know that in these cases, ladies and gentlemen, that the judge has a wide latitude to consider factors beyond the guidelines, such as Diddy's character, the nature of offenses, the evidence of violence presented at the trial, testimony from Cassie and Jane, and while he can impose the full 20-year sentence by even considering acquitted conduct, racketeering and trafficking allegations. And then you go back to this and look at what Donald Trump's man Jay Clayton wrote. Ask yourself a question. Why would the government be so hard bent on keeping Diddy locked down? It has to be two things, you guys. They got more shit coming against him that they're working on now, and or they get ready to hit this nigga with a meal. And you know what? They say karma's a B. Because what happens if the judge comes back and hits Diddy with that same 10 that Sean Poe did? You know, the same Sean Poe that didn't snitch. The same Sean Poe that didn't have 1,000 niggas on the internet taking up for him and saying, hey man, this ain't right, man. They doing Sean Poe dirty. The same guy that sat down and did a whole damn decade. A whole decade. Oh, that's right. But we forget about that though. Read that right there. This is what Donald Trump's guy wrote. The defendant also fails to establish by clear and convincing evidence that he is not a flight risk. Why would you be a flight risk if you're only going to get small time? Why would you be a flight risk if they're only going to hit you with a slap on the wrist on October the 3rd? Why would you be dying to get out of jail right now if you know on October the 3rd he going to hit you with a little bit of probation and you done? No, you know this nigga finna hit you with the Holy Ghost. That's why they keep saying flight risk. And the people who don't got no brains don't understand this. The defendant faces significant, listen to this, what it's saying now, and the judge is more than likely to lean with the prosecution because Diddy was found guilty of something. And in the Mann Act, they have a part where they talk about violence in the law. You got to read that part. I read it. Did you? So when everybody says, oh, well, the other Mann Act guys, they didn't get it. Yeah, they didn't have that violence attached to it. Diddy's did. The defendant faces significant penalties for his crimes of conviction, what he was convicted for. They say significant, not small. As raised in the government's July the 2nd, 2025 submission, the government's initial, this was their first view, was that Diddy's guideline range was 51 to 63 months. That's 5 years and 3 months. It says the government is continuing to assess sentencing guidelines and expects the appropriate guideline range will be substantially higher. That right there let y'all know they're going to sit this nigga down. Diddy cannot get over 20 years. The max he can get is 20. And today, the judge has told them, do not redact anything else. Because I think the judge wants the entire general public, DJ Envious and all this fake ass media that's out here capping that don't know the law, to understand when he laid a smackdown on Diddy come October the 3rd with that sentencing, for them to see why he did it. So he says, put it out there in public. And it's going to be hard for Donald J. Trump or anybody else to overcome that redacted information that wasn't seen by the general public before. But it's going to see it now. All you have to do is do your research, ladies and gentlemen, and you will see. Seek, and ye shall find. Judge Arms Submaranian has the authority to impose the maximum sentence for Sean Diddy Combs. He doesn't have to go by the guidelines. He can give the maximum sentence. He saw everything. We didn't. Subscribe to my other YouTube channel, TTV Network. The link is in the description box and it's pinned at the top of this chat. Salute to everybody donated to the stream. Kimberly Cunningham, I seen you in the Cash App. And to the lady who sent me $60 in the PayPal, I seen you with the $60 donation to the PayPal. Salute to you. Much love to you as well. Y'all know what's up, man. Best there is. Best there was. Best there ever will be doing this thing, nigga. And like I said before, man, you know, hey, man, God don't like ugly, man. All you got to do is keep your hands to yourself. That's it. Men shouldn't be putting their hands and beating on women, and these women shouldn't be putting their hands on men. And it's just as simple as that. You understand? And when you try to downplay this type of shit, right? And say, oh, it was only domestic violence. The last thing I asked y'all, why does a man have to beat a woman if she's doing everything he wants? Tell me what man in America, what man in the world goes home every day and beats on his woman that's doing everything he wants? Think about this. I want you to think about that. Why does domestic violence happen? This is where the government dropped the ball the biggest in the case. Because as soon as Diddy's lawyers went up there and said, this is only domestic violence, I'd have went up there and stumped a mud hole on their ass right there in the courtroom. Because I would have said, well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this idiot, Diddy's lawyer, says that this was all just domestic violence and that these women were all active and willing participants. Well, if they were active and willing participants in all these things, why would Diddy have to beat them? Why would you have to beat a person that's willing to do all of these things you say? Case closed. I would have destroyed him right there. But the government never said that. They never used Diddy's lawyer's words against him. That's all you had to do. Domestic violence is used to control and coerce. That is what domestic violence is. So when these idiots say, oh, it was just domestic violence, man, you idiot. Domestic violence, look up the definition of domestic violence in the dictionary, you dumb son of a snitch. Domestic violence is a means and method that is used to control and coerce. That means, oh, this B ain't gonna listen to what I'm doing. Boop, 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 boop. Let me go upside her head. But how could she be willing? How could she be submissive and all these other things that you say willingly submissive if there's domestic violence involved? Why would you have to beat her? What's to tell me? Tell me. If she's doing everything you want her to do, why did you have to beat her? You got to be a sicko to beat on a person for no reason. In the words of Johnny Cochran, the late great Johnny Cochran, good work. Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, like, share, subscribe. Y'all have a great day. Hey, I really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel, supporting the network. Like, share, and subscribe. Once again, there are links. Get the free membership on our website. That way you guys won't miss any of our news update stories or videos. They're all on the website, ticketvmedia.com. You go over there. You can go right to the members part and become a free member. That way you guys will get all the updates. Also, straight drop weight loss formula. Make sure y'all go tap in and copy some of that as well as subscribing to our podcast show. Link will be pinned at the top of the chat down there below. And also, we just appreciate all y'all who support the channel. Cash App, PayPal.
Some motherfuckers still trying to ice skate up here.